Hi, hope you're doing okay, and I hope you're okay after last night's news, and you're not too worried about it. That we're on lockdown, but try not go into your own head and freak out too much about it. That we'll press on, and we'll learn new things, and we'll continue. So thanks for everything you put on the comments yesterday. It was fantastic reading it all the way down. And I was going to move on to a new quote and start looking at fear actually, but we'll maybe fear today isn't the best one to look at. But we will later on in the week kind of look at that. It's a good message. Don't worry. So thanks for the comments all the way down. It was really interesting reading it. So the picture you see here, this is in Corinth, which is in Greece. That Diogenes is the person you can see in the picture. I'm going to point, I think it's there. That Alexander the Great is here. So the story is that Diogenes tutored Alexander the Great, and that when Alexander the Great won and conquered everything, that he came to Diogenes and said, I will give you anything you want in the entire empire, name it and it's yours. And Diogenes said, can you move slightly? You're in my light, because he was sunbathing. That it might be real, it might not be real, but that kind of story encapsulated a lot of Diogenes' philosophy and kind of what he was about. So yesterday, I asked you to look at this quote, the foundation of every state is the education of the youth, and whether or not you thought it was important. And it was good, because every single one of you gave fantastic comments about whether or not you thought it was good and why you thought it was good. No one said it was bad. A couple of you said good and bad, but none of them said it was bad. And I think that I agree, don't get me wrong, that it's kind of self-defeatist if I start saying it is bad, but I think that if we were to think about education and pick it apart slightly, that surely it's not the simple process of educating that's important. It's what's been educated, which you all highlighted really well actually way down the comments. So just to kind of highlight a couple, people should have to choose if they want education or not. That is yes, that had me snared straight away, going ooh, like, because I automatically, the philosophy is about questioning, but philosophy is also about trying to look at different avenues. So as soon as someone says something like that, I think automatically that, okay, so what happens if people can and can't choose? Luckily, the person quite far down, I'm not going to read out names, sorry, but said that I don't think we should choose to go to school or not. I think that some people aren't mature and others would just say, I can't be bothered. Yes, I agree completely with that. But what do we do? Do we force them to go to school? Yes, by the way, is the answer to that question, that we really do that. But is it right to force them to go to school? Like, why are we doing that? Like, so we must see some sort of value within education in order to force them to go to school. That without education, we're so unaware of things happen around us, and our worldviews would likely to go be narrow and selfish. Yes, completely agree. But we live in a world where people's views are narrow and selfish, I would say. And we have education. So it means that education is creating people who are narrow and selfish. I'm not comfortable with that, and I don't think you are either. So that it means there's something else going on there, but still I like it because it makes me think that, and people will be clueless about what's going on. I completely agree with that. That education keeps you informed about things that are going to happen, things that are happening. Sorry, that modern studies do that in the news. So it's like these are things that are happening, and currently I think history do on this day. Maybe I'd need to speak with one of them that, or they could comment below because Mr. Cook is also on this thread as well. So that was the first comments were more about the like should or shouldn't we have education, and I liked that very much. But then the conversation moved on to people's comments moved on into two kind of broad categories. The first one was basically that we should get a job. That's the point. Education helps people into jobs work, so that's important. I believe we should learn the basics. It's almost as if it's training us to work hard for later life. It guides you to a path career you want to do. If education wasn't a thing, then no one would have jobs. So it's all job orientated, and I like that. When I come back to that, and then at the bottom, I want to read this one because I like it and it got me thinking a lot yesterday afternoon. If humans hadn't built up societal mountain that we are told to climb, then we could all look at ourselves and realise that we don't need material objects to be happy. Sure, owning a house might be nice and maybe a car too, but in the end, those material objects are stereotypes. We have associated with things. We've associated with things are not important. And that's pretty much Diogenes' whole thing. So I like that very much because it's you've read ahead and you've kind of flipped to the answers at the back of the book, and you've duped me into thinking you're really good. Anyway, that I really like the comments, so please let's kind of keep this going. I think it's good for all of us to kind of read it, and there's other teachers sort of reading the threads as well, and they're impressed by your comments. So I took all your comments and I put them into a word art, and this is what we got. So we can see like how the more the words mentioned, the bigger the word is. That's how this works. Like most of you know that anyway. That and you can see that people think like education is important, but like if we take educate, because people are going to use that all the time, then we get think, and thinking is the most important part of it. And I don't think any teacher in the school or the world would say anything different from this, that your ability to think and reason is crucial. The ability to interact with a problem and try and get a solution from it is crucial. And that, many people will disagree with this, but that is philosophy. Like philosophy is the art of questioning, and I'm going to do, after Diogenes, I might look at the philosophy. One of the bits is definitely going to be Bertrand Russell's A Value of Philosophy, and it's one of the things he says continually within it, that the food will give sustenance for the body, but it doesn't feed the mind, that philosophy feeds the mind. That and I like that idea very, very, very much. That some of you are going to point out that most people started their comments with "I think," so that's why I think is so high, and you're right, but I just like the image, and it has a cat on it, which makes it even better. So this is an image from the Scottish Parliament. Sorry, I had to think about that. So this is the Mason Scottish Parliament, and it's on the bottom of it is engraved, there shall be a Scottish Parliament in 1988, and this is because of devolution. What I like to do is Google the image, try and find it. There are 4 words engraved in the sort of the middle bit of it. The on the image, there's this kind of coppery bit, or gold or whatever. What are the 4 values? I remember starting my dissertation saying that the 4 values engraved in the mace of the Scottish Parliament are this, this and this, and then I had to talk about why I thought that these values were important. So I'll put the same question to you. Find out that first, but what kind of country do you want to live in? What values are important for your country, our country? What do you prioritise, and what do you like, and what do you want to see more of and less of, kind of thing? So do that first. What kind of country would you want to live in if you had that kind of choice, which we do, but I'll get to that kind of later, right? So then once you've done that, what do you want to do when you leave school? What kind of job do you want? The majority of comments seem to be focused towards that education is about getting a job or fulfilling a job or some sort of purpose. So what kind of job do you want? Then what we get from that is basically 2 things. Like, what kind of country do you want to be out? What kind of country do you want to live in? What kind of country do you want Scotland to be? And kind of what kind of job do you want to be? And that's kind of 2 things and then we've got to do the philosophy bit of it and kind of think about it slightly. So, does the job that you want promote the values that you want to see in society? So look at the jobs, look at the entry requirements for the jobs. That you've made options choices as well to kind of feed into that. The job if you've chosen, say that you think that compassion or is a key value of Scottish society and something that we should promote in society. And I don't want to see everyone just saying the same thing, compassion there as well. But if you choose a job, does that job promote compassion? Does a carist promote compassion? Of course. But how does your job that you've chosen promote the values that you've said you want to see in our country? Do that. Comment below. I'll have a look. I'll have a chat. And I'll feed back to you tomorrow as well. Hope you have a good day. Stay safe. Make sure you keep your distance. Make sure you stay indoors unless you need to go outside for any specific necessary reason. Take care. See you tomorrow.